The room went silent so fast it felt like someone had sucked the oxygen out of the air. Crystal glasses froze halfway to lips. A laugh died mid-snort. Even the string quartet, yes, my father hired a string quartet, stopped bowing like they'd sensed danger in the atmosphere. She didn't look festive. No red dress. No sparkly heels. Just surgical scrubs, navy blue, faintly wrinkled, sleeves rolled up. There was dried blood on one cuff. Not hers. Mine. Dr. Mara Ellison walked straight into my family's Christmas Eve party, like she owned the place. Because in a way she did. She stepped up to the microphone my father had rented for his annual thank you speech to his colleagues. He was supposed to be praising loyalty, tradition, excellence, whatever buzzwords he recycled every year. Instead, she cleared her throat. "I apologize for interrupting," she said calmly, her voice carrying through the chandelier-lit living room. "But I need to correct something dangerous that's being said here tonight." My father's smile cracked. "Just slightly. You've been told," she continued, "that my patient is exaggerating headaches to avoid family obligations." A pause. A breath. "I removed a life-threatening brain tumor from her skull this morning." You could hear someone drop an olive. "She's not dramatic," Dr. Ellison went on. "She's alive." That's when my phone started vibrating nonstop on the hospital tray beside me. I was lying in a recovery room across town, half my head wrapped in bandages, a dull roar still echoing behind my eyes. I couldn't see the party. I didn't need to. I knew exactly what was happening. And for the first time in months, I smiled. 6 months earlier, none of this had been funny. It started with pain so sudden and violent it stole my breath mid-sentence. One moment I was explaining a report at work. The next the room tilted, my vision folded in on itself, and it felt like my skull was being crushed from the inside. I barely made it to the trash can before vomiting. When I stood back up, half the world was gone. My left side blurred into shadow. It lasted hours. Then it came back. Again. And again. Sometimes it felt like an ice pick behind my eye. Other times like pressure. Slow, relentless, as if something inside my head was growing and had run out of space. I did what anyone would do. I went to my father. Dr. Leonard Crow. Family physician. Community favorite. The man whose framed diplomas covered an entire hallway in our house like wallpaper. I sat across from him at the kitchen table one night, hands shaking, vision swimming. "I'm losing sight in one eye," I said. "I can't keep my balance. The pain is." "Stress," he said, not even looking up from his tablet. "Dad," I collapsed at work. "You overwork yourself." I threw up. I couldn't see. "You're sensitive." My stepmother, Vivian, chimed in instantly. "You've always been anxious, sweetheart. Christmas is coming up. You get like this every year." My half-sister, Lila, snorted from the couch. "She always has a medical crisis when there's something fun planned. Remember when she couldn't walk during my birthday trip?" "I was in the ER," I said. "Sure you were," she replied, scrolling. I remember thinking, this is surreal. I was describing something terrifying happening inside my body, and they were treating it like an inconvenience. Still, I trusted him. Because he was a doctor. Because he was my father. So I waited. And the thing inside my head kept growing. The third time I collapsed, my manager didn't ask permission. He grabbed his keys and drove me straight to the emergency department. They scanned my brain within minutes. The look on the radiologist's face told me everything before anyone said a word. Dr. Mara Ellison didn't sugarcoat it. She pulled up the image on the screen, an ugly mass pressing where it absolutely should not be. "This isn't stress," she said quietly. "This is a tumor. And it's dangerous." My ears rang. "My father's a doctor," I said automatically. "He said it was anxiety." Her expression changed. Not shock. Outrage. "This needed imaging months ago," she said. "We're operating immediately." The surgery was scheduled for Christmas week. When I told my family, they didn't ask if I was scared. They asked about the party. "That's the weekend of our Christmas Eve gathering," my father said sharply. "You can't do this now." "It's brain surgery," I whispered. "She's exaggerating," Vivian said. Lila rolled her eyes. God, can you not make everything about you for once? My father looked me straight in the eye. If you go through with this, he said calmly, don't expect help. No rides. No recovery support. No family. That's when something in me cracked. Not loudly. Cleanly. I called Dr. Ellison that night. And that call set everything in motion. Because what my family thought was a headache was about to become a reckoning. By the time dawn crept through my apartment blinds, I had already made my decision. I was going to have the surgery, with them or without them. Dr. Ellison didn't hesitate when I called her back. Her voice was calm, steady. The kind of calm you trust when everything else is falling apart. This can't wait, she said. Not days. Not weeks. Delaying puts you at serious risk. I told her what my father had said. About the party. About the threats. About being cut off if I didn't behave. There was a long pause on the line. Then she said something that chilled me more than the diagnosis. What you're describing isn't just family cruelty. It's medical neglect. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone pressed to my ear, heart pounding. He's a licensed physician, she continued. And dismissing symptoms like yours, repeatedly, crosses a line. I swallowed. He says I'm dramatic. I've seen dramatic, she said flatly. This isn't it. Then her tone shifted. More careful. More deliberate. I need to tell you something, she added. Because it may matter very soon. She explained that she wasn't just a surgeon. She also sat on the state's Medical Oversight Committee, the group that reviewed malpractice complaints and license violations. And, she said, your father's name isn't unfamiliar. My stomach dropped. There have been prior reports, she said. Several. Mostly women. Mostly dismissed pain. Anxiety diagnoses. Delayed testing. I felt sick. You're saying this has happened before? I'm saying your case may establish a pattern. The room felt too small. Too quiet. What do you need from me? I asked. Show up for surgery, she said gently. Let us save your life. The rest will take care of itself. I barely slept that night. Not because of fear, though there was plenty of that, but because clarity had finally replaced doubt. For the first time, I wasn't asking for permission. I was choosing myself. The morning of the surgery, my phone stayed silent. No check-ins. No good luck. No are you okay? Just a group chat photo from my stepmother showing table settings and captions about Christmas magic. My best friend, Rena, drove me to the hospital before sunrise. She cracked jokes the entire way, bad ones on purpose. If you see any tunnels of light, she said, gripping the steering wheel, tell them I still owe you brunch. The pre-op room was freezing. Nurses moved with quiet efficiency, marking my scalp, prepping 4 lines, explaining things I barely absorbed. Dr. Ellison came in wearing her surgical cap, eyes focused, grounded. Family with you? She asked gently. I shook my head. They have a party, I said. Her jaw tightened. Well, she said, placing a hand on my shoulder, we're here. Every single one of us. When the anesthesia took hold, the last thing I heard was her voice. We've got you. I woke up to beeping machines and pain that felt heavy but survivable. I was alive. The tumor was gone. Rena was there, crying into a cup of hospital coffee like it had personally offended her. You scared the hell out of me, she said, laughing and sobbing at the same time. Then she hesitated. Your dad posted photos, she added quietly. From the party? She nodded. Caption says something about family that shows up. I stared at the ceiling. That's when the anger disappeared. What replaced it was colder. Sharper. Understanding. That evening, as Christmas lights flickered somewhere outside the hospital walls, my door opened again. Dr. Ellison stepped in. But this time she wasn't alone. Behind her stood a man in a tailored suit and a woman holding a tablet, her expression already grave. This is hospital legal, Dr. Ellison said. And this is Dr. Rowan from the medical board. They asked if I was strong enough to talk. I was. I told them everything. The headaches. The vision loss. The dismissals. The threats. The party. Each word landed heavier than the last. Dr. Rowan didn't interrupt. She just recorded. Then she asked quietly, "Has your father been telling people this was a minor procedure?" "Yes," I said. "He told relatives I'd be fine. That I was overreacting." She exhaled slowly. "You underwent emergency brain surgery," she said. "There is nothing minor about that." Dr. Ellison exchanged a look with her. "There's one more thing," Dr. Ellison said, turning the tablet toward me. A photo filled the screen. My family's living room. Packed. Laughing. Doctors I recognized from childhood shaking hands over champagne. "One of your father's colleagues is currently at our hospital's Christmas event," she said. "And he's repeating your father's story." I felt my pulse spike. "What story?" "That you're avoiding family obligations. That you're dramatic. That this is all in your head." The irony almost made me laugh. Dr. Rowan leaned forward. "Would you consent to us correcting that publicly?" I didn't hesitate. "Tell them," I said. "Tell them everything." Because if they were going to laugh at my pain, they were going to do it in front of the truth. I didn't see it happen. But I heard it. My phone started buzzing like it had been possessed. Calls. Messages. Notifications stacking on top of each other until the screen blurred. Rena grabbed it first. Her eyebrows shot up. "Oh," she said softly. "Oh wow. What?" I asked. She turned the screen toward me. A live video. Dr. Mara Ellison, still in surgical scrubs, standing under chandeliers that cost more than my car. The caption read, "Live from the Krause Christmas Eve party." I almost laughed. Almost. Across town, my father's voice had been filling the room moments earlier. He'd been mid-speech, glass raised, basking in nods and polite applause. Then Dr. Ellison stepped forward. She didn't shout. She didn't dramatize. She simply waited for the silence. "I need to address a dangerous falsehood being shared in this room," she said. The cameras picked up the shift immediately, smiles fading, confusion rippling outward. "One of my patients is being described tonight as dramatic, as exaggerating headaches to avoid family commitments." She paused. "I removed a life-threatening brain tumor from her skull this morning." Gasps. Someone whispered. "Is she serious?" "She is currently recovering alone in our ICU," Dr. Ellison continued. "Because her surgery was considered inconvenient." My father's face had drained of color. Dr. Ellison didn't look at him. She didn't need to. "For clarity," she said, "this was emergency neurosurgery. Delay would likely have resulted in stroke or death." You could hear glasses being set down. Chairs scraping. A man near the front stammered, "Leonard?" That's when my father tried to laugh. "Oh, come on," he said, forcing a smile. "This is being blown out of proportion." Dr. Ellison turned to him then. "You saw her symptoms for months," she said calmly. "Vision loss. Balance issues. Severe headaches. You ordered no imaging." The room froze. "You told her to wait," she continued. "Because you had a party." Someone in the crowd muttered, "Jesus." Dr. Ellison wasn't finished. "You also told colleagues she was exaggerating," she said. "That she was seeking attention." The live comments exploded. Rena read them out loud, half in disbelief. "Is this real? Did she just say emergency brain surgery? Oh my God, that's his daughter?" Then Dr. Rowan stepped forward. "I'm with the State Medical Oversight Board," she announced. "Effective immediately, Leonard Crowe is under investigation for medical negligence." A collective inhale swept the room. "His license is suspended pending review." Someone dropped a glass. It shattered. My father's mouth opened. No sound came out. Back in my hospital room, I felt strangely calm. Like the storm had finally passed overhead and left everything stripped bare. The phone rang. Then rang again. My stepmother. My sister. Relatives I hadn't spoken to in years. Rena looked at me. "Want me to answer?" "No," I said. "Let it ring." A text came through from my sister. "You ruined everything over a headache." I stared at it. Then deleted it. Later that night, Dr. Ellison came by during rounds. "They're auditing his entire practice," she said. More complaints surfaced within hours. I closed my eyes. How many? She hesitated. Enough. I thought about the months I'd spent doubting myself. The pain I'd swallowed. The women who hadn't gotten as lucky. What happens now? I asked. She smiled faintly. Now, she said. The truth keeps walking. The first voicemail from my father arrived just after midnight. I didn't listen to it. The second one came a minute later. Then my stepmother. Then my sister. Then an uncle who once told me I was too sensitive to survive medicine. Then a cousin who still owed me money. Rena stared at my phone like it might explode. It's a full-on meltdown, she said. Group chat is on fire. I didn't need details. I could picture it perfectly. The party had ended early. Not politely, abruptly. Doctors slipping out without eye contact. Colleagues suddenly remembering early mornings. The string quartet packing up in silence. My father, who lived for admiration, standing alone in a room full of half-drunk champagne and judgment. For the first time in his life, no one was laughing with him. The next morning, the hospital felt different. Nurses lingered a little longer. Doctors nodded at me in the hall. Someone left a handwritten card on my tray that read, "Thank you for speaking up." Dr. Ellison stopped by with coffee and news. "The board worked through the night," she said. "Your father's practice has been shut down temporarily. Patient files are being reviewed." I exhaled slowly. More people came forward, she added. Women. Stories that sound familiar. That word landed hard. Familiar. Headaches dismissed. Pain minimized. Tests refused. Told to relax. Told it was stress. Told it was in their head. One woman had waited too long. She didn't make it. I stared at the wall, my chest tight. "I didn't know," I whispered. "Dr. Ellison met my eyes. You didn't cause this. You exposed it." That afternoon, I finally listened to the voicemails. My father's voice was hoarse with rage. "You've destroyed my career," he snapped. "You humiliated me. On Christmas." There was no concern. No apology. Not even a question about whether I was alive. My stepmother's message was colder. "You've embarrassed this family. You've always been selfish." My sister's was worse. "Dad is crying. You wanted attention. Congrats, you got it." I laughed. Out loud. It startled Rena. "What?" she asked. "They still think this was about attention," I said. "Even now." I blocked every number. The silence afterward was immediate. And peaceful. 2 days later, Dr. Ellison discharged me. "You're healing well," she said. "Vision's improving. Prognosis is excellent." I thanked her, my voice thick. For believing me. She smiled. "That's the job." As I was wheeled out, my phone buzzed once more. An unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. "You destroyed your father's life. Hope it was worth it." I stared at the message. Then I typed back, "I'm alive." It was. And deleted the thread. The investigation didn't slow down. It accelerated. More patients came forward. Records were pulled. Patterns emerged. Months of neglect turned into years. By spring, the board's decision was final. My father's license was permanently revoked. The lawsuit from one family drained what little he had left. His practice dissolved. His reputation vanished. The man who once told me I was being dramatic was now a cautionary tale whispered in hospital corridors. As for me, I healed. I moved. I changed jobs. I started working with patient advocacy groups, helping people navigate systems that once ignored them. 6 months later, Dr. Ellison invited me to speak at a medical ethics conference. "Your story changed policy," she said. "You saved lives." Standing on that stage, I told the truth. Not angrily. Clearly. "My father was a doctor," I said. "He ignored a brain tumor because it was inconvenient. That's not family drama. That's public danger." They stood. Every single one of them. But the final message came much later. An email. Short. Bitter. "You took everything from me. Over a headache." I stared at it for a long time. Then I replied. "You ignored a brain tumor. Your patients, and your daughter, deserved better." I hit send. and closed the chapter. A year later, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror and traced the thin scar hidden beneath my hairline. It had faded. So had the fear. What hadn't faded was the clarity. Surviving something like that doesn't make you brave overnight. It makes you honest. Brutally honest about who shows up, who protects you, and who benefits from your silence. My life looked nothing like it had before. I had a new apartment filled with sunlight instead of tension. A job that mattered. Friends who checked in without being asked. I was dating someone kind, the boring kind that feels like safety, not fireworks. And my health. Solid. The tumor was gone. My vision was clear. The headaches never came back. My father disappeared from my life the way he disappeared from medicine. Quietly. His marriage collapsed under the weight of blame. My sister stopped defending him once there was nothing left to defend. The relatives who once accused me of ruining Christmas stopped calling when they realized I wouldn't apologize for surviving. I didn't chase closure. I didn't need it. Every few weeks, someone would email me. A patient. A medical student. A woman who'd been told her pain was imaginary. One message stayed with me. "My dad's a doctor," she wrote. "He says it's just anxiety." I almost believed him. I wrote back. Don't. Find someone who listens. Your body is not lying to you. On the anniversary of the surgery, Dr. Ellison and I had coffee. "You changed things," she said. "Hospitals don't ignore complaints the way they used to." I shook my head. "I just told the truth." She smiled. "That's usually enough." Sometimes I think about that Christmas Eve. The laughter. The chandeliers. The moment the truth walked in wearing scrubs. They thought they were mocking a headache. They didn't realize they were standing on the edge of their own exposure. And here's what I know now. Survival isn't quiet. It makes noise. It disrupts dinners. It ends careers built on dismissal. And if protecting yourself costs you people who never protected you, that's not loss. That's freedom. Please click the subscribe button, like, share, and comment. This will encourage me to make more interesting stories. Also, let's know where you are watching from. Thank you and see you in the next story.